All right, guys, thank you. So it is time to do something we've been doing here for months now, and that is get the facts. We are fact-checking the claims made by the major candidates when they're here on the campaign trail in the Granite State, because, you know, facts really matter right now. With us is Maria Ramirez Uribe from PolitiFact, and want to dig into something that actually both candidates tonight that we heard speeches from talked about, and that is the issue of immigration. We've seen in the entrance polling in Iowa, immigration was one of the top topics for Republicans. You know, the exit polling from New Hampshire is showing immigration, again, top topic among the GOP. But at the same time, both those states are thousands of miles away from the U.S. southern border with Mexico. So really interesting this is happening. So let's dig into Haley's claim first. I know you have the exact claim. So what was she saying and what did you find out about it?
Yeah, so Haley said, quote, "We have a border that is totally open." And this is something we've heard multiple times throughout the campaign, and it's inaccurate. So although millions of immigrants are arriving at the southern border, it really isn't right to say that it's open, because there's 20,000 Border Patrol agents, there's technology, there are border barriers, there are immigration laws and border policies that are being followed every single day that prevent people from entering the country and mitigate who comes in and what comes in. So it's really not accurate to call the border wide open right now.
Okay, and then with Trump, what did he say?
Yeah, so we have two different claims from him. The first one is we have millions of people flowing into our country illegally. We have no idea who the hell they are. They come from prisons and they come from mental institutions. So again, this is misleading. Immigration officials say that they've stopped about 8 million people, or they've had about 8 million encounters at the border nationwide under Biden's administration. That doesn't mean 8 million people are now in the U.S. There's a few reasons for that. The first one is that encounters don't mean individual people. So one person can try coming into the border 3 different times, and each of those is counted as a separate encounter. And also a lot of people are sent back out. So we've got millions of people that have been, of encounters that have ended up with people being returned to their home countries, not allowed into the US. So it's really not accurate. As far as whether or not we know who they are, most people are, taking themselves back to border officials so that they can start the asylum process, which creates sort of a vetting and a screening process for those people that are coming into the U.S. And then he's mentioned multiple times that they're coming from mental institutions and from prisons, and we have absolutely no evidence to prove that. Immigration experts, for years have been telling us that that is just a claim that is not provable or has any evidence to back it up.
All right, and given how important immigration is clearly to the electorate this election season, I'm sure we'll be talking about this a lot more. Maria, thank you.
Thank you.